Grandfather, of all the things you have seen in this life, of all the journeys you have taken, what is the one thing you wish someone had told you when you were my age?
The old man was quiet for a long moment. He looked up at the sky through the leaves above them, as if searching for the right words among the branches. Then he looked at his grandson, and said slowly, "My child, if there is one thing I could go back and whisper into the ear of my younger self, it would not be about money. It would not be about love. It would be about something so simple, so silent, so invisible, that most people never notice it is leaving, until it is already gone." He paused. Then said, "It would be about time." And the boy asked, "Time?" The grandfather nodded slowly. "Let me tell you a story." Nobody warned Eli. Or maybe they did. He just wasn't listening. This is not a story about a villain. It is not a story about bad luck, or misfortune, or circumstance. This is a story about something far more dangerous. Something that moves in silence. Something that takes everything, while you are busy doing nothing. This is a story about time. This is Eli, 24 years old. And already, he feels like a relic of something that never quite happened. The dreams he once carried so effortlessly now feel like artifacts from another lifetime. His pockets are empty. His confidence, decimated. His spirit, threadbare. And in the suffocating silence of this small room, a question haunts him. Where did it all go wrong? He drags himself outside. Not with purpose. Not with destination. But with the desperate need of a drowning man, to simply breathe. The city moves around him like a river around a stone. Everyone going somewhere. Everyone building something. Everyone, except him. And then, he sees him. An old man. Sitting on a weathered bench at the edge of the road. Perfectly still. Perfectly calm. Surrounded by nothing but a worn leather travel bag and a silence so profound it seems to push back against the noise of the city. Their eyes meet. And the old man says 4 words that stop Eli completely in his tracks. "You are running late." 3 years earlier, Eli had a job offer. A genuine opportunity. The kind that arrives once, maybe twice in a lifetime. His mentor had called him personally. His voice urgent with excitement. "Eli, this is your window. Do not miss it." But Eli was busy that week. Busy with nothing. Busy with everything that felt important in the moment, and meant absolutely nothing in retrospect. He said he would call back. He never did. The window closed. And he didn't even hear it shut. The old traveler listened without interrupting. Then he reached into his leather bag, and placed a small hourglass on the bench between them. He said, "Do you know what makes this hourglass different from a clock? A clock can be reset. An hourglass cannot. Once the sand falls, it falls. No mechanism in the world can put it back. Every grain that passes through that narrow passage is a moment of your life. A choice. An opportunity. A relationship. A dream gone. Permanently. Irreversibly gone." 5 years earlier, Eli had enrolled in a course that could have changed his trajectory entirely. His father had sacrificed quietly to pay for it. But Eli found the lessons tedious. The early mornings inconvenient. The discipline, uncomfortable. He stopped attending after 3 weeks. When his father asked why, Eli shrugged. "There's time, Dad. There's always time." His father looked at him with an expression Eli didn't understand then. He understood it now. It wasn't anger. It was grief. Alder placed his hand gently over the hourglass and said, "Let me tell you something I once witnessed. I was traveling through a valley many years ago. And I came across two farmers. Both were given the same plot of land. The same seeds. The same season. The first farmer rose at dawn every day. He tended his soil with patience and intentionality. He did not wait for perfect conditions. He planted in imperfect weather. He watered in inconvenient hours. The second farmer waited. For better weather. For more resources. For the right moment. When harvest time came, one field was abundant. The other was dust. And the second farmer stood at the edge of his barren field, and wept. Not because he lacked ability, but because he had given his season to waiting. 7 years earlier, Eli was 17, sitting in a classroom not unlike the one in his memories. A teacher had once pulled him aside after class and said, "Eli, you have something rare. Don't squander it." He had smiled politely, walked out, and forgotten the words before he reached the school gate. Youth has a peculiar arrogance. It mistakes abundance for permanence. It sees the full hourglass, and assumes it will always be full. Eli swallowed hard. He asked, "Then what should a man do?" And the old traveler smiled. Not with pity, but with the warmth of someone who had once stood exactly where Eli was standing. He said, "A wise man once told me something I have never forgotten. Time is not something you spend, it is something you exchange. And what you exchange it for, becomes your life. Every morning you open your eyes, you are handed a gift. 24 hours. 1440 minutes. 86,400 seconds. The question is never whether you have enough time. The question is always, what will you do with the time you have?" Something broke open inside Eli that afternoon. Not in a painful way, but in the way that something long sealed, finally releases. Like a window thrown open after years of darkness. He realized that the time behind him was gone. That was immutable. Unchangeable. Fixed. But the time ahead was still his. Still unwritten. Still full of possibility. And in that realization, something shifted. The paralysis of regret began, slowly, to transform into the fuel of purpose. Alder stood slowly. He picked up his worn leather bag. And he placed the hourglass gently into Eli's hands. "Keep it," he said. "Not as a reminder of what you lost, but as a reminder of what you still have." Then he turned, and walked away. And with every step he took, something in Eli straightened. Like a tree that had bent under the weight of a storm, slowly finding its vertical again. The next morning, Eli rose before the sun. Not because everything was fixed. Not because the consequences had disappeared. But because he had made a decision. A quiet, unannounced, irreversible decision. To stop being a spectator of his own life. To stop lending his hours to comfort and lending his days to idleness. To become the first farmer. Time is the most democratic gift in existence. Every human being on this earth, regardless of wealth, status, or background, receives the same 24 hours each day. The difference between those who flourish, and those who flounder, is never talent. It is rarely circumstance. It is almost always the relationship they have with time. Guard yours. Protect it ferociously. Spend it intentionally. Because unlike every other resource in your life, time can never be earned back. Not 1 second of it. The young boy looked up at the old man quietly and asked, "Did Eli make it?" The old man smiled. "That is a story for another day."